Stock just went up, Golden Boy.
Hello, and welcome back to the Football Corner. Welcome back to another live stream, another show, another video on the channel, people. Welcome back. Today we are going to be joined by Giuseppe from Sicilian Gooner TV, and we will be joined by T from TK Football. Come on, man, we're here. We also will be joined by Matt from the Back of the Net podcast and Ashraf from Shoot the Ball, but they are running late. So Ashraf and Matt are slightly fraudulent today. Yeah, they have been slightly, just a little bit fraudulent because they are running late at the moment, but we can cook them when they get here. As for now, we are going to start off the show by just speaking about a bit of what's happened with Liverpool in recent days, the Liverpool performance. We will just go into that a bit until they get here. But we are also going to be touching on Onana, linked to the club. We are also going to be talking about Frimpong, who is also linked to the club due to come in. We're looking at his release clause. Also, we will be looking at Mikel Arteta and asking the boys on the panel. Obviously, you guys already know my thoughts. Arteta in at the moment. But we will be getting the boys' thoughts on whether they are Arteta in or out, and how Mikel could improve this situation now. Whether he has to take Havertz out the squad, whether he has to keep him in. We will be asking all of those questions. But guys, before we do anything, make sure you're smashing that like button. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel, because that gets people here every single time, man. We want to grow this community, so make sure you are subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button. Let's go for a like goal of 25 likes today. Let's go for 25 likes on this live stream. Big ups to everybody in the chat. Big up to Hellboy, as you can see on the screen. Big up to Hellboy, man. Big up to yourself, my broski, and everybody else in the chat. And also big up to everybody who's watching on a replay. Same goes for you guys. Make sure you're smashing that like button and subscribing to the channel. Right, after I've done that whole intro, boys, how you guys doing, man? How are you guys doing? You're on mute, lads. I muted you, but you're off mute now. There we go. How you doing, lads?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing well. You're still muted, Giuseppe.
We can't. He's not muted, so I don't know what's going on.
I'm muted. I was muted by my mic.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay, right.
I was gonna say, T, do you wanna go first or me, man?
Yeah, I don't mind. I feel numb, basically. I don't feel anything anymore. This season is for me. Everything that happens, which is positive, will be a something surprising for me. Basically, I only can sit and hope at this point. Nothing else.
Yeah, man. First, I want to say big up you two. Big up Gooner Lounge, obviously. Big up, obviously,
big up.
Ash and Matt. Big them up, but they're a bit fraudulent like
Frauds.
our team right now. But it only goes in correlation to our team. Shout out Hellboy. Right now, I'm in Hellboy. The shades are back because I don't want the opsy and the pain in my eyes. The pain is still here. It don't seem to go away. Only God can save me and the team. But listen, the Liverpool game. Listen, I'm actually originally I used to always be a guy that would say like, you know what, if you lose the game but the performance is there, I sort of don't get as annoyed. That's changed. I am now the opposite, mate. I'd rather us just play crap and then we lose, and then I'll be like, you know what, we're just shit. Why are we performing to a level where we're like, bro, like we're walking through Liverpool, bro? We were like, I'm not gonna lie, in the first half, we should have buried them. Why are we not burying them? We're not even going 1-0 up. It's disgraceful. I say it a lot and I'm laughing, but it ain't funny, man. Like they're all on fraud watch, the team for me. This is why currently it's a bit hard for me to be bare on Arteta. I'm on Arteta, but like I'm watching these players do crap here that I'm like, I'm sorry, bro. It doesn't matter who your manager is. It doesn't matter if I'm your manager. You shouldn't be missing that, bro. You shouldn't be doing that. It doesn't matter who your manager is. That's basic football ability that you should possess, and you do possess, and we all know you possess.
You know what? Sorry, G. Just a quick one, yeah. One of the frauds, I repeat, one of the frauds has arrived. One of the frauds. This guy changes hats more than we change, more than it changes seasons in America, bro. Yeah. That's how many times this guy changes hats. But big up, it's none other than the brother Ashraf. He's back in the building after the rant session on Monday. I believe it was Monday. It was Monday. Back again. Look at this guy.
Back
man.
again.
What's going on, mate?
Yo.
Blood clot again. Big up Troops, man.
Blood clot, yeah, bro. Why are you hating on my cap game, bro? I'm trying something different, bro. New year, new me. I'm trying different things.
Man left the New York. Man left the NY hat in
yeah, the hell with that, bro. Like I'm trying different caps now and stuff. I might as well.
Big up. But G, carry on what you were saying.
No, I'm just saying, man. These players are fraudulent. I can't even be. I'm on the manager as well, but I can't be too on the manager because I'm sorry, man. These players have been fraudulent, mate. Like I'm not having it. I'm not. I say I'm not having it because I'm looking at stuff and like a manager's job for me, yeah, is to tactically go out and win the game, right? And there's a lot of games at the moment where I'm watching us tactically win the game. Tactically, we dominate the game. Tactically, we're getting clear-cut opportunities. And the players just aren't doing anything. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you can't put it in the book. Like, I said, if I'm the manager for Arsenal Football Club, and you've got basically almost an open goal to score a header, this ain't even a Liverpool game, going further, to score a header, why is it me being your manager can't make you miss or score that, mate? You've got to do it as a player and the manager and what's going on anyway. They're all cool with the manager. It ain't like we're in disarray where the players don't want to play for the manager and that. This is just them stinking out the place. And they've been doing it all season.
The only thing that I'm going to say to counteract this is, or to kind of counter your point, is when it comes to Arteta, yes, he's put them out there and he's put them out to go and listen. I'm not Arteta out necessarily. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate at the moment, trying to play from both sides. Let's say that he has gone out there and he has put them out there to score goals. He's put them in a position where they can create these chances and the players on the pitch are not putting them away. Would the manager not have to take liability, and would the manager not have to take responsibility for them missing chances? Because yes, they were missing chances in the first half and they weren't scoring, and that's down to the players. I 100% agree with that. But when he has more clinical players on the bench and he leaves them on the bench and doesn't bring them on, Leandro Trossard didn't even come on in the game. Nketiah didn't come on until like the 85th minute. So yes, the players might take some blame. Of course, the players are going to take some blame. But I still don't think that Arteta gets stripped of any blame, because I said that I hear this argument from fans to Ashraf on Monday, where I hear people say, oh, well, it's not the manager's job to put the ball in the back of the net. And yes, because the manager that said that was Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola said that he gets the players, his job is to get the players in front of goal. That's it. Once Pep Guardiola gets them in front of goal, it's their job to put the ball in the back of the net. Now, although that is true when certain criteria is met. So if Arteta gets them in front of goal, he and the board have to have the right players there to put those chances away. If you have players like Jesus, like Nketiah, like Havertz, who are in those positions, and supposed to be scoring the goals, and they ain't scoring the goals, then you fall into a position where the manager, the board, they have to take some sort of blame for that, because they have put themselves in a position where they're putting players in those positions, the striker position, for example, where they're not able to finish chances. So would you not say that he has to take some sort of blame for not bringing on players in this game? If we look at this game in isolation, would you not say that he has to take some blame for not bringing on somebody else in the front line in regards to striker to try and score goals? Would you not say that's true?
I think he needs to have most of the blame, if you ask me personally. But go on, Giuseppe.
No, listen, he's definitely got to blame. Listen, everyone in the club, has a part in this right now. Everyone from the Cronkies to Arteta, to the coaching staff, to the players, mate. Yeah. But the one point I want to make is that people always do this where they deflect off of players and go straight to the manager. I agree the manager has made mistakes in the game. He should have made subs earlier. I was cussing him for it. I will stick it on him for that as well. But you can't give it all to the manager. Like, more people will give it all to the manager and none to the players than people will give it all to the players and none to the manager. I'm just saying, listen, I can give you a plate of food and a knife and fork, bro. It's not my fault if you starve to death. That's not my fault. I've given you everything you need. Eat the food. If you starve to death, how can I be blamed? They can't say, oh yeah, but he didn't put it in his mouth, chew it. Listen, the subs, I agree 100%. And I'm on the last nerve with Arteta as well. Don't get it twisted. I'm not Arteta out. Let's just put that out there. I don't personally think there's a manager currently available that guarantees more.
There's plenty of managers.
No.
Yeah.
Listen, if we sack Arteta right now, I couldn't name you more than, I don't even know if I can name you a manager we could currently get that will guarantee us better than what Arteta is doing. I swear to, like, honestly, who do you want to get? Who do you want to get that's available? You ain't getting Simeone away from
off the top of my head.
Simeone.
Who's
I don't want
the one that
Zidane.
starts with L? What about the one that starts with L? What's his name?
Enrique.
Lopetegui.
No. Lopetegui doesn't play that kind of style.
People will chuck.
He's flopped with Madrid as well.
People will stick all these names out there like it's just easy. Yeah, listen, you ain't getting Simeone halfway through a season, so forget that. Yeah, you ain't. Listen, I hear all this crap about Zidane. Yeah. For me, I swear to God, I might be one of the only people that don't think Zidane is even that proven. Like, he won Champions League at Real Madrid.
No. Zidane.
Come on, Giuseppe.
No, listen. No. Listen, I'm not saying Arteta's a better manager than him. Don't get twisted. But people think that he's some elite manager that's just going to come in straight away and win you the league. Listen, he won the Champions League, multiple times with a team, with a club that is prone to winning this. He had Ronaldo priming it up. Yeah, he had all these players, Luka Modric, Toni Kroos. He had an amazing team, brother.
Benzema, get a bill.
But any manager in there would have won them Champions Leagues. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm telling you.
There were managers that didn't win.
Tell me why.
I just named the manager that flopped.
Tell me how many leagues he won. That's all I know. Tell me how many.
He's won 2 leagues. He's won 2 leagues.
He won 2 leagues. Now tell me what he's done apart from that Real Madrid stint. Apart from Real Madrid, what has he done? Nothing. He ain't gone to another team.
Yeah, but before Pep went to Bayern Munich,
he's trying to be.
So before Pep went to Bayern Munich, what did Pep do outside the Barcelona stint? We could do the same thing, no?
No, but I'm not saying Zidane will not listen. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying Zidane will come in and flop, and I'm just saying that. I'm just saying people can't tell me that they factually know that Zidane comes into our team and wins us the Premier League and the Champions League. You cannot.
Yeah, but that's not a reason. That's not a reason to not chase after another manager. Look, I'll tell you why I disagree with what you're saying, Giuseppe, on 2 things. Yeah, the first thing is striker thing. For me, I get what you're saying. A lot of people will say the manager's job is to get you to the final third. I think if you're gonna, not you specifically, meaning anyone, because a lot of people are saying this, and I got into a space and I mentioned this as well. I think it was a space with Saad as well. If people are going to be giving So the striker's missing chances, especially when it comes to like a bunch of games, not just one game, it is on the manager. And I'll tell you why. For two reasons. One is, if we look at the Liverpool game in isolation, the guys who missed, from what I remember, the bulk of our chances are Nelson. He missed a couple. Havertz missed a couple. And Saka missed a couple. I think Odegaard also missed one where he had the crossbar, right? The funny thing is, we knew everyone and their grandmother knew Havertz is not a good finisher from his Chelsea days. He decided to spend 65 million and play him. I know he played him only because Jesus is not there, but the fact is he was never supposed to. I don't think we should have ever spent that kind of money on him in the first place. With Nelson, most Arsenal fans wanted him out because they're like, this guy's not going to be making it. He's the one who decided to give him a new contract. Now, people will say, oh, he gave him a new contract to preserve his value. I don't agree with that, because when he gave Nketiah the new contract, people said the same thing, and he didn't sell him when he got the chance. Then Crystal Palace come with a bid for like 30 million, and we rejected it. So I don't think it's to preserve the value. And Saka, obviously star boy, blah, 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 one of our best players. But we know, and we've been seeing this over the last 4 or 5 games, he's been pulling stinker after stinker after stinker. But Arteta refuses to sub him off. That game specifically, right? Nelson does an amazing job, creates a chance on the left, goes to Havertz, Havertz crosses it. Saka misses the chance. Arteta turns to the bench and goes like to Martinelli, get ready in. And I'm like, yo, he's going to bring on Martinelli for Saka because Saka's been stinking it. He takes off Nelson. That's on the manager.
Listen.
Sorry,
go on. Sorry. No, go on.
No, I was going to say this. I was going to say the second thing as well. With most coaching, right? And you can check with a lot of coaches about this. The things that coaches train you on the most when it comes to the top level, right, is what you do off the ball. Whether it's off the ball, meaning defensively, whether it's off the ball, how you move when you have the ball, you make the runs at this time, you make the runs inverted. For example, one of the things that Arteta clearly worked on, and I think someone was speaking about it as well last year, have you noticed when our fullbacks have the ball, Saka or Martinelli, they make runs inside and then the fullbacks release it in. They don't release the ball to them a lot of times when they're isolated with the fullbacks. That's obviously an Arteta tactic. He's obviously told them, when you get an opportunity, run in and then the fullback will pass the ball to you. So you get it in a bigger open space. So most of the stuff that Arteta will work with these guys on is off the ball stuff. If we are going to say Arteta is not to blame for the chances being missed, even though he's picking these players, then he shouldn't get credit for the opportunities being created, because that's the genius of Odegaard. That's the incredible cross of Saka. That Ramsdale long ball to Nelson, right? That was Ramsdale's skill. That wasn't Arteta controlling Ramsdale and he pressed L1 circle. It's literally, so if you're giving credit, if we're not criticizing Arteta for the chances missed, then let's not give him credit for the chances being created, because that's not on him either, by that logic.
Listen, first of all, I want to put this out there because I like to argue and I like to be devil advocate. Now, by the way, I am critical of Arteta, critical of the signings.
I know, I've heard.
Critical of all that side of things. He needs to bring. Obviously, I've got a bigger issue with the Cronkies and that. Let's not get it twisted. If he could get a striker, he would have a striker. Let's not be like right now. He'd sign one in January. Like, we can't be delusional that it's Arteta that don't want to sign these guys. Like, any manager will sign the amount of players that they're allowed to sign. Yeah. To fix to do what they want to do. Yeah. The thing is, with the Saka not coming off, it jars me. It really does. But the only thing I'd say to defend that this season, is that the only player that has shown me this season that even if he's pulling a stinker, can pull something out of the bag near the end of the game or something to get us a goal is Bukayo Saka. The Chelsea game with that cross to Trossard, there's multiple times in games where he's had a stinker, but then he's pulled something out and we've won the game or we've drawn the game. So by that logic, out of the people up top, when they're all not playing the best, you'd keep Saka on, because you're like, he's proven that even when he's playing bad, he can get that moment of brilliance. No one else has shown me that. Like,
but not the last 3-4 games, though, no, Giuseppe? Last 3-4 games, he hasn't shown that.
The last 3-4 games, to be fair, it's hard to judge some of these last 3-4 games, because certain it's that he missed the chances in the Liverpool game stinker, but there's other games where he's actually put the chances. He's the one who's crossed the ball that's been missed an open goal. So he has kind of done his side of that, but then the player hasn't put the ball in the back of the net, which he scores that. Then you're like, oh, Saka got an assist this game, but he don't score that, and then the game ends, you lose, you ain't scored, and you're like, Saka, blah, 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 blah. Listen, I'm on Saka as well, by the way, but Arteta's to blame as well. I just want to put that out there. Arteta needs to, minimum now, he has to challenge for this league until the end still. He can't fall off. And you need to do well in the Champions League. You need that minimum. I'm telling you. Yeah. the likelihood of us winning either one. Listen, I'll know more.
We're definitely not
on
winning the league. That's for sure.
On my thoughts of Arteta, will know after these next 5-6 games. Because if you look at these next 5-6 games, we've got who we got next? So we got
Crystal Palace and then Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest. Then we got Liverpool.
Yeah.
We got Burnley. Then we got the Porto game, and we've got one more winnable fixture in the Premier League. We win all them. The conversation's different. We win all them games. Then we're actually quite close to Liverpool. We could even be above them because they're 5 points above us. One of them wins will be against them, gain the 3 points. If they've not got Trent, they've not got Salah. This is a point. If they're going to lose points, they're going to lose them now. So we have to step it up from now. You win the Porto away game. That's a huge win in the Champions League. That's what I mean. So you do have to reserve your judgment because at the end of the day, we've had a crap period in the league. We'll be real. This is when I try and keep my cool a little bit with the club and the players and that. We've had our crap period. I accept it now. I've accepted that was our crap period. Most teams have it in a league in a season, right? Maybe we definitely should have done better, but you can end it now and we're still in a shout. If you end that crap period now and you go on a run, you're still in it. We're so lucky that we're still in it. Other seasons, we wouldn't be in it anymore. We're lucky.
I don't think we're in it, honestly.
No, we're not in it.
I don't think.
Can I say something? Ash, I hear what you're saying is in the bigger picture of watching how we've been playing and the players we've got available and that. I completely agree with you. I don't think we can win the league.
No, not just that. Not just the way we've been playing. Like, let's say, so we have, I've tweeted this as well. Let's say we have 18 games left, right, in the Premier League. 18, because we played 20, right? Let's say we win 13 out of the 18 games and we draw 3. That's a good result, by the way. 13 wins out of 18 and 3 draws and only 2 defeats. That's actually really good. That only takes you to 82 points, which will not win you the league, right? And the reason it won't now win you the league is because City right now sit on 40 points, just like us, but they have a game in hand. So they have 19 games left. If City win 15 of their 19 games, which, by the way, given the last 3 seasons, is very doable, because they've done it last 3 seasons, right? If they win 15 of their 19 games, that alone takes them to 85 points. If, let's say, they draw another 1 or 2 and then they lose 2, that's 87. Liverpool have 45 points and they also have 18 games left. If they also win, like, let's say 13 games and let's say they draw 2 and they lose 3, for example, that takes them to 86 points. So even if I'm looking at good scenario for Arsenal where we play well, good scenario for Liverpool and good scenario for City, we don't. Which means for us to win the league, one of 2 things has to happen. Either we have to go on a phenomenal run, meaning 15 or 16 wins out of 18, right? Which is unprecedented for us in the second half of the season. Or we have the run that I just said, 13 wins, blah, blah, blah. And Liverpool and City need to stink it up second half. One of them stinking it up, maybe. But both, it's not going to happen, bro. It's not going to happen. We have a better chance of winning the Champions League, which I don't think we'll win either, more than the Premier League.
The only thing I'll say to that one, and then I'm going to let T talk because I've been waffling.
Oh, sorry, T. I took your time. My bad, T.
But no, that's me.
No
I'm
problem.
more than anyone. But yeah. The one
T is dying inside right now, bro.
Yeah.
Man said, no problem.
But the thing is, with that, you say that, but if City win their game in hand, right? You got to look at it like this: City win their game in hand, they're 3 points above us. We've still got to play City. I know it's a big task. I know it's a big task. But this is what I'm saying: it's possible. You know, I'm not saying we're going to. I don't think we will. I think we'll drop stupid points this season again, and we've got some hard games still. But you beat them, you're now level with points with them. You beat Liverpool, you're 2 points behind them. So then at that point, you just got to be keeping up with the results. If they, at the end of the day, it's we can say they're not going to have a bad period. Liverpool haven't had a bad period yet this season. It might not come, but it might come. For a long time, they haven't got Mohamed Salah, and there's been a lot of games that he's been their clutch player that's got them out of sticky situations that we lose. The games we've lost this season, if we have Salah, we win most of them games. If we have Salah in our team,
I'm just saying Salah before, no?
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is they can cope, but they're due an off period. Yeah, and it's gonna we got hope it comes when Salah's not there. If we had Salah this season, we'll be comfortably top of the league right now. If we had Mohamed Salah this season, I'm telling you that 100%. You need that killer. We haven't got a killer.
I think that's why we won't win the league. I think with that conversation, that's just a whole conversation in itself. T, what was your thoughts on this, man? I know you haven't spoken yet.
What was the question again? The original question.
The original question. Well, actually, we kind of steered off because we were actually supposed to be speaking about what your thoughts were on the game, and then we kind of
Sorry, my
spurred off
bad, guys.
into
I came and I changed the whole
we
thing.
spurred off into the Mikel Arteta. Should he stay? Should he go? And then we moved on to the conversation about are we going to win the league or is the possibility of us winning the league, and then managers. So at this point, we might as well just start with the we might as well start with the whole managerial situation. I already know your managerial situation, but just explain it for anybody who hasn't heard it yet that may be watching. By the way, like and subscribe, guys. Explain it for them.
Well, to answer all those three questions, will we win the league? No. It's clear. It's clear and simple. No. We don't have the resources. We don't have the hunger. We also don't have the manager to win the league at the moment because he is not experienced in these kinds of situations. And I believe in him when it comes to turning this situation around with the players that he currently has, you know? And about the managerial situation, I don't believe in this guy. The fact that we are having a conversation about the players being shit, but not having the conversation about who brought them in the first place is that is for me the big picture. That is for me the reason why Arteta is not the right coach. This man wasted money, and now he plays with his players, plays with his system, because Havertz playing like that is his system. Havertz invading space of Martinelli is his system, is his way of play, you know. And a lot of things that happen at the pitch right now, Jesus not being in the box is his style of play, is his system, because he is making way for Havertz, for example. So we can talk about a lot of different factors about why we're not scoring goals. And I think Arteta is the main culprit when it comes to this, because he is the reason why he is the reason we spent 65 on Havertz instead of 35 for Kudus and 30 on someone else, for example. And Kudus would have made Saka would finally have that person that could challenge him and let him have a rest for a few games. Now we don't have that, so Saka needs to play every game because we don't have that same quality of player for that side. And for the left side, I'm going to go a little bit further back. We wanted to buy Mudryk for the left side because Arteta saw something in him, because that guy has a lot of talent, thinks Arteta, and he would have challenged Martinelli. And now he bought Trossard, and he doesn't see Trossard as that guy that actually would challenge Martinelli for that position. He sees Trossard as a filler for other positions, and the left side when Martinelli is out, for example. So at the end of the day, he didn't challenge our main two players to the point that sometimes when they play shit, we can get them out, because now we can't get them out, basically. They need to play because we don't have the same quality of players. Other positions. Okay, I'm just going to finish off by saying this because I don't want to say the same things that Ashraf said, because I agree with Ashraf mostly. The only thing I'll say is the first half we looked good, but the second half, even Declan Rice looked bad. Okay, and that is not only on the front line finishing their chances. That is also on Arteta setting up those players in that certain way, which ended up even Rice playing shit. You know, if even Rice plays shit in this current system, why are we still using it? Havertz, for example, those missers, bro, I still think about that. It really irritated me the way Havertz set himself up for those positions to take those shots, because those were not striker level movements that he did, and the way he shot the ball looked so silly, bro. It just looked weak, and I just can't help but think to look at the bigger picture and think these are Arteta's players. He won the FA Cup with Emery's players. Now he has his players. He's spent 700 million. And if we regress as a team, as a whole, like I said, even Declan Rice played bad the second half. If we regress as a whole, the only person that can be blamed is Mikel Arteta. That's it. Because it's
I
not
would
only
even
finish
add-
on our chances, because
You
we
know-
conceded 2 goals to Liverpool B team. They brought on 2 youngsters, and that left back, I don't even know his name. He dominated us. He dealt with us. He did everything correct. And why can Klopp do it with young players from the academy and Arteta not do it with players that he bought? You know,
I think-
just look at it from that scenario. You know,
I think the whole situation is it's listen, Arteta definitely has to take some blame. Of course, he does. Because Arteta coming out into the and playing the same system, because he is playing the same system at the moment as what we were playing last season. He's trying to play the same system as last season with the wrong personnel. Basically, what's going on here. You saw it as soon as you removed Havertz from that midfield and you put Jorginho in there. The midfield actually looked a bit more fluid.
It did.
You were able to move the ball around. You get Jorginho actually putting through those passes quickly to the midfield or quickly over to Odegaard and even getting them to Saka as well. But when you got Havertz there, there's no balance in the midfield. You have to have balance in your midfield. So yes, Arteta has to take blame for that because he's brought in Havertz. He's persisted with putting Havertz in this team, and he has been very stubborn because you could see that it wasn't working. And yes, Havertz might find another place in the team. Yeah. I even said this in a space yesterday where I was like, I think Havertz would actually fit very well in a 4-4-2 system where he plays behind the striker. A similar kind of formation to what Arsene Wenger used to play and what's his name? Alex Ferguson used to play. The classic 4-4-2, where one of the strikers drops down and you got it's almost like a 4-4 it's a 4-4-1-1 is I think what they used to play. That system, I think Havertz works perfectly well for that system because he could play behind the striker, creating space and helping to get the ball to a striker, but you need a gunman with him. So this Havertz signing, in theory, could work in the future when we have a striker that can score goals. But for now, and what we need now, I don't think it will work. I don't think it will work for the players and personnel we have on the pitch at the moment.
I think his best position, in my opinion, is the bench. That's his best position, bro. Come off the bench,
Right.
make an impact. Bro,
Right
because
now,
if you play him behind the
Ash.
striker, you're sacrificing someone. Why would we
Ash.
sacrifice someone for someone who's a bum, in my opinion? Like,
yeah, he's a space invader, bro.
Ash.
He's a space invader, not a
Bro.
player.
I'll be real. I don't get why people think otherwise. Havertz was brought in to be a sub, bro. I don't care what anyone's telling me, bro. He come in to be a utility sub that can play striker, can play in multiple positions. He could come off the bench. The fact of the matter is, the partnership in midfield of Partey and Rice has not been available for Arteta this season. This is why sometimes I say you got to actually give managers some slack. So you got to give it to them, but you got to cut them some slack because at the end of the day, yeah. If we had Partey all season, we probably wouldn't be talking like this about the midfield or anything. He hasn't had him through injury. That's unlucky. When you go into a season,
No. You know,
right?
he's an injury-prone player. He's
an
injury-prone player.
Hold on. Last season, he played majority of the games for us. So you can't say that he played majority of the games for us last season. And when he is when he's out for a few games, you can fill in with a Jorginho. You can
but one counter.
One sec. But to say, and I'm not saying it ain't Arteta ain't to blame. I wouldn't have signed Havertz.
Yeah.
I stick to that, and I say that all the time. I say that all the time. Again, with the Liverpool game, you can't always judge our team. The first half we were amazing. The second half we were poor against Liverpool. Yes, that's not always down to our team. You got to give some credit to Liverpool and how they stepped it up in football. Yeah, if you know this or not, football is momentum based. Yeah, I'm telling you now, if you get 4 or 5 good opportunities to score and you ain't gonna score them, you know that soon in that game, that team that you've held them against, they're gonna give you 4 or 5 chances at your goal. But they took theirs, an own goal. And then at the end, we went gun ho, all players on trying to get that goal because why
He
not?
always does that.
And but we had to. There's
No,
no
but
point.
he always does that. So that's
And then we could see the second goal. But what I'm trying to say is, yeah, Arteta is to blame. But like for example, I can't agree because he puts all the blame on Arteta. See, I can't agree with that. I can't agree with you thinking that these players don't need to step up themselves as well. When you're getting 4 or 5, we've got records.
I said most.
We're getting
not all.
We're getting records of shit like the most shots in a game without a goal. 42 shots in 2 home games, no goal. Yeah, we're having 5, 6 clear-cut opportunities in a game and not scoring. Like, listen, we can talk about Arteta and his flaws and that as well. 100%, he's got many flaws. He's still learning as well. He's growing in the job, whatever.
Okay,
right
but
now,
do that at Everton, not at Arsenal.
But
yeah,
bro. But I'm telling you now,
that part makes sense.
yeah, I hear what you're saying. But tell me now, currently, right now, I just can't see someone doing better with these players right now. We ain't got the players.
I have a counter to that.
No,
I have a counter to that.
Okay,
So,
I'm not saying
no, let you go first. Let you go first.
Yeah, I'm not saying get rid right now, and I'm not also saying that it's all Arteta's to blame. It's most of Arteta's fault because it's his players and it's his tactics, and the rest of the blame is our players not finishing their chances. That's how I see it.
I want to say 2 things to the point that Giuseppe mentioned. So the first thing is the reason why I agree with T that most of the blame is on Arteta, if not all of it, most of it at least, is because when you have 1 or 2 players missing, that's fine. Like then it is on the player. The player needs to step up, right? Obviously, if you know the player himself has always been a bad finisher, that's also on you as a manager for picking him. But when you have 3, 4, 5 different players missing again and again and not getting those opportunities that are clear cut where they can score, and when they do get some of them, they miss, that is on the manager, right? Because think about it, bro. If you are in a job, right, you have 5 or 6 employees who performed incredibly well last season. All of them this year are performing subpar. You have to look at the guy leading them because he's clearly either not motivating them enough or training them enough or coaching them well enough to get them to perform, right? Or he's picking the wrong people in those places, maybe. I don't know what it is. When you have a trend of a bunch of players doing bad, the guy leading them is the problem. And the second thing, to your point, Giuseppe, about who's available, right? In my personal opinion, this comes to players and managers, not just managers. It's to both. People keep asking this question about who's available, who's there. Bro, it's not our job to know that because we're not the board. We're not the scouts. If I'm a scout right now and you pay me how much a scout is getting, I will list you 10 different strikers, top quality strikers, who will probably come in and kill it at Arsenal, right? But I'm not a scout. If I'm working for the board, I'll probably have 6, 7 different managers available lined up. But like, in case we let go of Arteta, we get this guy. And here's the funny thing, yeah? Some people were saying this about Emery 2 seasons ago. If we let go of Emery, who will we get in? The guy we got in was a novice anyways. So if someone is there backing Arteta right now, by the way, I don't want him out right now either. Like, I think it's crazy to sack a manager mid-season, especially when you're in the Champions League and you're in a title race. I don't think we'll win either one of them, but I think it's crazy to sack him mid-season. You have to give him till the end of the season to rectify the mistakes he's made.
That's all I'm saying, by the way.
Exactly. But I'm saying come this summer, right? If he doesn't win either one of them from me, he needs to go. And if people say like, oh, but then who's available? Yeah, but you back Arteta, who, when we signed him in 2019, was a novice. So it's pointless for you to say who's available. Arteta was available then. Nobody knew him. Nobody knew how good he was going to be. He turned out to be good enough to get us to this phase. Right? By the way, and if I had to drop a name, and you guys might not like this, I think De Zerbi could come into this team and do quite well. I really do, because, bro, we got Arteta, who had no experience. At least De Zerbi has Premier League experience, and he plays. The reason I'm saying De Zerbi, by the way, I'm not like doing this reactionary, because I do believe some managers are just like this one season kind of managers. They get overhyped for whatever reason, and people go with the wind. Right? Flavor of the month, exactly. The reason I'm saying De Zerbi, though, is because his style of football, right? The way he likes to dominate possession and he attacks, even against City, by the way. He does this against City, against Liverpool. I think with a team like Arsenal, with better funds, with much better defenders, which is a problem for him at Brighton because his defenders are not good enough, which is why they concede goals, right? With a much better defense and with the profile he has, I think he would do really well. And here's the example, yeah? When Conte was announced that he's leaving last season, remember who Tottenham was linked with? They were linked with Luis Enrique, they were linked with Nagelsmann, and they were linked with Pochettino. And all the Tottenham fans were fighting on who they want to get and stuff. The moment they heard the name Postecoglou, the entire fan base was like, yo, what the fuck? Do not get this guy from Celtic. I promise you right now, ask any Tottenham fan, would they rather have gone to get one of these guys? 95% of them would say, no, thank God we got Postecoglou. That's what I'm saying. So we keep saying like who's available, but the fact is there could be people available who do a much better job, bro.
I hear that, Ash. And to counter one thing that you said earlier, when you said about the players not performing for him, so you got to blame the manager. You can blame the manager to an extent, but I've watched managers far better than Arteta. The same thing happening. Klopp is on to I've seen 2 seasons out of his time at Liverpool where his team, the same players, were just trash for a season. Van Dijk,
but there's reasons for that,
Trent.
though.
No, but what do you mean there's reasons? What reasons then?
Van Dijk was injured the whole season.
Van Dijk, hold on. Let's not compare Arteta to Klopp, because the one thing that these managers do have is credit in the bank. Klopp won them Champions League.
Exactly.
Klopp done more than Arteta's won.
I'm not trying to compare them in level. I'm not trying to say
but all I'm saying is that's the reason why Klopp gets a pass. That's the reason why Klopp gets to have a season where
a bad season
where the team is not playing to the level.
But what I'm trying to say is I get that 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Of course, he's got more credit in the bank than Arteta. Man's on Champions Leagues. Of course. What I'm trying to say is the actual thought process of saying that the players not playing is all down to the manager not playing this season. But then you've seen seasons where the season they were amazing. Then there's a season under Klopp where they were trash. And you'll be like, bro, what's happening with the players? They're not playing for Klopp. What's going on there? And then the next season again, these players are firing again for him. So it's not just the manager on like that makes them play like that.
No, that's the thing.
For example, Ash, right?
Yeah.
Next season, you said I'm not saying keep Arteta at the end of the season. I'm waiting to see what the end of the season holds, and then I'll make my assumption. I'm not going to say nothing now. I don't like to do the mid-season sacking, like you, as you said. I don't like that. That's my point. Is don't sack him now. That's all my point is.
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Right.
Okay.
But my thing is that you don't know that you don't keep him, and next season all these men are firing again, and now it's all looking sunshine and rainbows again, and it's looking beautiful again, and you've added even more to it, and it's even more beautiful than it was. This is what I'm trying to say. You got to also think about these things and look at it like that, in the sense of Klopp. There were seasons where a team like Chelsea might even have got rid of him. They might even have got rid of last season. Chelsea, if Chelsea had Klopp. Forget what he done because they don't care. They might have sacked him last season.
They're sacking club. They're sacking club. It's in their
But this is
DNA.
what I'm trying to say.
So
because they're like, oh, he ain't doing good. We got to sack him. But then the next season, look what Klopp's doing with Liverpool again.
No.
That's
Okay,
all I'm saying.
I'm gonna end it on this. Obviously, listen. At the moment, Arteta's not sacked. At the moment, this season is salvageable. We are going to move on to the next topics because we do have to get through quite a fair bit of stuff. Now, moving on. Arsenal, before we talk about Onana and get into transfers, we're going to speak about some breaking news that came out. Arsenal have been handed a massive boost with Thomas Partey set to be in line to play the Nottingham Forest game at the end of the month. He is penciled in to start that game, so he may be on the bench for the game against Crystal Palace, and then I assume he's gonna probably come on for that game a little bit, but then start for the game against Nottingham Forest. What are your thoughts about Thomas Partey coming back, lads?
Amazing news. I think Partey brings a lot to this team, and I think he will bring that spark and that extra power in the midfield that we're lacking right now. And also his progressive passes, his progression as a whole, his shots from outside the box. Sometimes it goes good, sometimes it goes to Highbury, but hey, I'll take it. But But anyway, I think it's amazing news. I'm really happy with that because you know how I feel about Partey as a player. I think I've already said about what I wanted him from this season. I think he could play the second half of the season. He could bring a lot to this team. I think he could end up being our best midfielder for this season if he plays, if he's fit, you know, because he is. I rate him that highly because he is that good. He just needs to stay fit.
Yeah, I listen. I completely agree. I think what Partey brings to the team, obviously, listen, we haven't been scoring goals. Yes, we haven't, and we haven't been clinical. But first of all, the balance that he brings to the midfield, and the fact that he comes back in and offers line breaking passes, he offers you the ability to going forward and passing forward be better than what Rice or what Havertz might have been giving you. Well, Havertz wasn't really giving you anything. Even Jorginho does. Just, I think on the ball, Thomas Partey is our best midfielder, or DM at least, you could say, on the ball. I think he is levels above them just because he's more confident and he's more comfortable in this situation. He's played in this situation for longer, so he knows what he's doing. But yeah, for me, I'm so gassed that he's back. I think that this could get the best out of Saka again. We're going to see Saka wake up. We also possibly will see Martinelli wake up as well, because you'll see the ball get into Ødegaard much more quicker. Ødegaard's going to be able to either find Martinelli making a run in behind, or he'll find Saka. So I think it's amazing news that he's going to be back for us. Lads, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, I think it finally gives us that balance we need in the midfield. I think every game we've played this season, every single game that we've played this season, something looked off in our midfield, right? Whenever we played Jorginho and Declan Rice as the pivot, like you always felt you had a weak link with Jorginho. If you press him really well, he could lose the ball. Whether we played Trossard in the mid or Havertz, like it just felt off. There was no connection. I think Partey, Rice, and Odegaard is, in my opinion, is a complete midfield. Yeah, I know Rice is not technically a box-to-box. I know he's more of a DM, but I think he can do a box-to-box job incredibly well. Partey has played box-to-box before as well, so I think he can, shift in that role too. It'll obviously help us tremendously. I'm not going to lie, guys. I hate being like someone who's negative with this because I really want to be like positive about the news, but just cannot get excited because of two reasons. One is I always feel like even if he's back, he'll get injured again, right?
Yeah.
Like it's very, because that's what happened when he came back for the City game and he played those 20 minutes, right? And he was on the bench against Chelsea. Literally 2 days later, training, got injured before Sevilla, and then was out for ages. So that's one, especially when they're rushing him because I don't think they're rushing him, but he said that the news said that he could be back sooner than expected. He's stepping up his recovery. That for me sometimes like spells worrying signs. And secondly, I don't know, man. Like it's just I don't know. I just cannot get that excited until I see him play like maybe 4 or 5 consecutive games. My other concern is if he does come back, is Arteta gonna do a Partey, Rice, Odegaard midfield? Or is he still going to do the Partey inverted fullback like he did before? Because remember, Ben White has not been having a good season, by the way. Ben White has been, in my opinion, he's been average last couple of games. So what if he ends up doing the same thing of I'll just invert Partey and let Havertz thing in the mid?
Yeah, I hope not.
That's my concern.
If he wants to injure him again, then he should do that.
G?
Yeah, listen, I think that if we have any minute chance of winning the league, Partey has to be fit for the rest of the season, available to play every single game 90 minutes. Or like at least 70 minutes, 75 minutes. That's the only way we haven't, and I'm talking other players not getting injured as well, by the way. Let's put that in there. But like getting our squad back, having him in is the only possibility that I could see that maybe we could go on a run and gain points and points and points because he can bring that. We don't like. I don't know. Maybe I'm in Dulala land. Maybe I'm praying. But I'm hoping that when he comes back in, you see us performing more like we did last season, because I do think he's so key to how we were performing last season. Odegaard speaks about it. Saka speaks about it, about the way he is, having him behind them just helps them so much. And listen, Rice is a quality player, but we got to remember, no matter what you want to say, Rice has been quality this season. Our best player, arguably him and Saliba, right? But this is still his first season in the team. He probably fully don't still get the way we play, the way Odegaard is. That's built over time and relationship and understanding. So him and Rice, I'm sorry, a midfield of Partey, Rice, and Odegaard is disgusting. No one can say otherwise. That is all fully fit.
Best pivot in the league. The best pivot.
That's a disgusting midfield. So, like, it's such good. I didn't even know this until you said that he's back for them games, and it's really good, man. I'm so happy about that, man. Yeah. I remember I was one of them saying he should be sold in the sense of like to bring someone in. I thought like
I still believe he should. I still believe he should.
The only way we should do that is if we're bringing in someone on his level, and I don't think we are. Like, I wouldn't sell him right now to sign Onana right now. Like, I don't think Onana would be better than a fully fit Partey. But at the same time, you have got to think about it that Partey may not be fully fit for the rest of the season. But I do think that he's had this long injury. I do think he's going to come back and he'll probably play the rest of the season. We got to remember he's not that mad injury prone. Like last season, he played quite a bit. He's been worse. This has been a long set off, but hopefully now we can have him back, man. As a player for the team, I love having him in the team, man. He brings so much, man. He actually brings so much to the team. You see it. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, the biggest win of our season. What would you say the biggest win of our season is?
6-0 Lons.
Oh, no, not like like the biggest win. The most
Manchester City.
Win.
Manchester City and the long ball came from him.
Who come on in that game? Who in that game put a ball through and that ripped him open for us?
Yeah, Partey.
Like Partey, like, let's be real. Like, you got to look at that. Partey come on that game and we're like, yes, Partey's back. Then we didn't see him again. It's peak. It's peak.
20 minutes and he was out. That 20 minutes we had Odegaard, Rice and Partey together in the midfield, bro. We dominated Man City, bro. They couldn't have a shot on target. They couldn't move the ball.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I believe he will be the key. And possibly the saving grace for this team, because I feel like we could take full control. But moving on, lads, just quickly get onto the transfers. Now we will speak about Onana. I'm gonna leave him till last, but I just want to quickly have a quick word about Jeremy Frimpong, who is Bayer Leverkusen.
That's T's guy.
T is gas. I'm hearing that we are going in for him. We are due to get the release clause paid in the summer. It's not going to be a January transfer. It's not going to be a January transfer, but it is going to be a transfer in the summer, which we are going to go to get Jeremy Frimpong to bring him in as a right back. He is more attacking than defensive, I believe. But, you know, we need somebody attacking on that right side. Just hopefully it doesn't burn us, man, because to be honest, I trust in Saliba enough that I can allow a slightly more attacking right back to be there on that side, because I trust in Saliba. Saliba doesn't really get shown out that much, even when Ben White is doing his shenanigans, where he's like in the middle of the pitch and doesn't bother to run back. So for me, it's a great signing personally, to bring him in. I think the actual cost is, or the number that's being put out there is 35 million, I believe.
34 million pounds.
34 million, yeah. 34 million. You lot are frauds. I was 1 million off. They couldn't let me get away with it, bro. These guys are frauds,
do not
bro.
Increase the price on us, bro. We're pinching.
But these guys are frauds, bro.
25 million, bro.
Hey, man said I'm going to
FFP.
their life, bro. I'm
you need
I can.
Listen, Wenger, 40 million and £1, bro. Every pound counts.
No, 100%. But yeah, listen, for me, I think it's an amazing signing. Similar thing. Actually, you know what? We're gonna bunch it together. We'll just so we can get it done quicker. Also Onana, physically great. The physicality is there. Defensively, I think he's there. Not there to take on and handle a defense or protect the defense by himself. I do think he still needs a bit of assistance because he is still quite young. But physicality is there. Going forward, a lot of people have said, oh, you know what? I don't know about him going forward. I don't know about his skill on the ball, how he is on the ball, passing the ball. The only thing I will say is that Everton at times could be a very defensive team.
Yeah.
And not have possession a lot of the time. So a lot of the time you're not going to see him on the ball doing what he does. Unless they play like a Luton or something. Then you might see it. But a lot of people don't watch Luton versus Everton. So you won't see it. You won't see when Onana's doing good stuff on the ball. Unless you go through and watch every single game, then you might see it. But I do believe, because I have watched a couple of games, the low key ones where they have majority of the possession, they're doing a lot of the passing, and he is quite good. He's quite good at passing the ball forward. Hasn't got the line breaking passes there quite yet, but it's something that can be taught. This is not something that you have to have. Yeah, it's not a skill that is a natural skill that only certain players have. This can be taught. You can be taught how to pass the ball and how to break the lines, how to get it to the attackers quicker. So, yeah, listen. If we are bringing in these two players, I'm completely happy with that. At the moment, we're getting mixed messages on when Onana's coming in, whether it's going to be January, whether it's going to be the summer. I'm not sure, but for me, I'm appreciative of all these players coming in, but we still do need a striker. We need that striker. It's very important that we bring in that striker. But that's it from me, guys. I'm going to shut up now, and you guys can go and speak about both signings.
Frimpong, man, we need him. I want him so bad. Like, honestly, I've wanted this guy for a while. Before this season, I was saying this as a guy because for me, I'll be real in it. Yeah, I've watched quite a bit of this guy. Most of it probably more compilation stuff, but like over time, it ain't just been like one season. Now we've been linked with him. I've been watching him and stuff, and I've watched him in obviously the European competitions when they've been playing and stuff over the years. Bro, this guy can play. I believe this guy can also be a backup right winger for Saka. I generally believe he can. Obviously, not like we need another right winger. Like we'd need to bring in like a Pedro Neto, but in a certain game, in a certain thing, I generally believe this guy could do that role. Yeah, if you're winning it, say you're winning a game, and he's playing right back, and you're winning the game 2-0 in the second half, you could bring on Ben White for Saka and then push Frimpong up and have Ben White there. I believe that. I generally do. I think he's a quality player. I'd bring him in a heartbeat for that money. You bring him in for that money after one season, you can easily double your money on this guy. Easily. If you're just talking that aspect, you have to try and get the release clause. It's a no-brainer for me. Obviously, now we got to start doing the legwork and get him. So, like, because there will be a whole host of clubs maybe wanting to trigger that release clause at the end of the season. So we got to get in there now. Onana, quality player. Listen, I'd happily have him. I was shouting for him as well in the summer. He was one of the guys I was shouting about. I was saying I'd love him in the team. About the passing and the breaking the lines, I actually see Rice being more that guy for the team in the future. Like I see him more adapting to them passes and stuff. I believe that this guy could even be the number 8 as well. I believe that you could play him as the 8 and Rice as the 6. You can have them interluding and doing a bit each. Because I've watched Onana in many games and I've seen him bombing up the pitch, going around a few players, causing chaos. We see it against us ourselves. He's causing chaos, season. Man. And he's doing that in Everton. And I'm not being funny. Everton shit compared to us. Like, let's be real. He is. He ain't playing with Odegaard. He ain't playing with Saka. Like, although they've been a bit trashier this season, yeah, they're still great players.
Massive upgrade, though. Yeah,
massive upgrade. Who he's playing with. He'll have Declan Rice next to him. He'll have Saliba behind him, Gabriel behind him. Yeah, man. Listen, I think them two signings are quality. The problem is we need a striker. Like, if you sign them two and a striker, yeah, this team looks so much more bolstered, so much more nice. If we keep our players and we sign like a quality striker and them two, but it's when are we gonna do it? We need one of them 3 minimum in January. We need that minimum. We need a striker in January. It ain't gonna happen. I'm seeing Solanke now linked with Newcastle. that he's going to be out the window. But regardless of that, if he goes, maybe we should try and get Callum Wilson on loan.
Callum Wilson, yeah,
try and get him on loan. A little stopgap till the end of the season. He gets goals. He will score goals for us. Don't get that twisted. He'll get goals for us where the others won't. He's not the long-term option, but we ain't getting a striker now. We have to actually be realistic. I would like you asked me buy Solanke now or buy Osimhen in the summer. I'm saying, you know what, as peak as it is, I'm just saying no. We got to ride out this season and get Osimhen in the summer.
Yeah.
There's
Agreed.
no point getting Solanke because then when you got to get a top striker. It ain't like a midfielder or something where you can take a bit more risks. The striker has to be the guy when we bring him in. Yeah. So for me, the striker needs to be that. But yeah, all them signings, quality signings. If we were to get them.
Yeah. I'll just keep it really short. I always wanted 2 players for the right back. And that was either Sacha Boey, the Frenchman, the young right back, or it was Jeremy Frimpong. And I'm happy that we're linked with Frimpong because 34 million is a bargain for his talent, in my opinion. I think he could easily, if he didn't have a release clause, he would easily go for 50, maybe 60, because I think he's that talented. And I think he would help Saka really well because what are we talking about Saka missing this season? And that is someone overlapping him. And he would be the perfect candidate for to help Saka, to improve Saka as well. I'm happy with that. You know how I feel about Frimpong, so I'm not going to talk too much about him. But what I do want to say about Onana is, it's not like I don't rate him. I don't think he is the profile that we need right now, personally, because if I could see him as a replacement, quote unquote, I see him as a replacement for Partey, not a replacement for a number 8 role for someone else, for example. And I think we need a different profile. And I'm not saying we need to get Barella, but that is the profile that we need right now. And not specifically Barella because he's too expensive and Inter will not sell him this season. But he is the kind of profile that we need for at the midfield right now. And I don't think Onana will fit that. He could be, but I don't want a project again. I want a proven player in that position that knows what to do immediately. And I don't want a player that gets his feet wet and then improves and blah, blah, blah. I don't want that. I want a proven player for that position because that's what we need right now because we are lacking balance. And if we need to get a player that doesn't suit that profile really well, but can get into that profile, it would be a project. And that's not what we need right now at this moment in time. So no, I wouldn't personally get Onana right now because he's 50 million as well. Go get a striker. Whatever you do, do everything you can and try and get a striker because Onana right now is 1, not the profile that we're searching for, and 2, not the most crucial part of the pitch at the moment that we need right now. Okay, and the one thing I will say is, people can say, "Oh, he played at Everton, so he plays a defensive style." Blah blah blah. People said the same with Rice. Okay, I'm not buying that. He could do a thing in a team like Arsenal. I believe that he has the quality, but he just is not the profile that I personally am looking for right now in this midfield. Personally.
No, fair enough. Ash?
Yeah, look, for me, I agree with what you guys said. And T, like, even though I agree with you that he's not the profile we need, I would much rather get a proper box-to-box, someone creative, someone who can add to the creativity, because I know we've been quite creative last couple of games, but I still think it's been a problem overall this season. So I would like for us to get a creative box-to-box, but Onana is someone for me who I wouldn't say no to, even though he doesn't fit the profile of midfielder at 1. Just because he's 22, the guy is like a physical monster, incredible at tackling and winning the ball back. And people like say, "Oh, he's not that good on the ball." I think he is good on the ball. Like, I remember last season, the guy was doing like dribbles and skills against us and stuff. So I think when he comes to a team that plays that kind of football, he's gonna be a lot more confident. Express himself a lot better. I do agree with Giuseppe. I think between him and Declan Rice is the player I would look at to be more creative, to be more progressive, to carry the ball forward and create stuff for us. So I think he would definitely be a big boost. I would still prefer, as T said, I would prefer a box-to-box who's creative, but Onana is definitely a very good signing to have. On the Frimpong one, look, I don't give a shit if he's more attacking than defending. Like, I don't give a shit, bro. The best right back in the world right now is Trent Alexander-Arnold, and while he has improved defensively, it's a myth that he should defensively. He's become much better. But he's obviously known a lot more for his attacking prowess than his defensive acumen. So I don't give a shit. Like, for me, some of the best fullbacks over the last 10, 15 years have been better going forward than they have been defensively. And I trust Saliba to do what Konate does for Arnold and to cover Frimpong and to be able to like cover that right side. And obviously we'll have, if let's say we have a pivot of Onana and Rice, bro, that is haram settings, bro. That's jihad kind of midfield, bro. Like that kind of midfield kills every attack that comes. So I wouldn't worry about Frimpong being a liability defensively if he can keep the same sort of level that he's showing with Leverkusen going forward, obviously.
Yeah, now fair enough, lads. Fair enough. And guys, we will leave it there for today. So thank you very much, lads, for joining me today on the stream. Big ups to you guys as well in the panel, and big ups to everybody in the chat. Big ups to everybody that commented and everybody that is watching now and on the replay. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel, and all the boys' channels will be in the description. So people watching now and on the replay, make sure you're going to the description and subscribing to these guys as well. Good guys, making plenty of content. So make sure to subscribe to them as well. And we will see you guys on the next one. Take care, my people. Love.